EA Sports, so proud to bring you continuing coverage of the world of golf. And today, we find ourselves on the rugged coastline of Carmel Bay at the legendary Pebble Beach Golf Links. Rich Lerner, so pleased to be joining you here today. And by my side in the tower, as always, is Frank Nobilo. And Frank, when I look to my right, over the Monterey Peninsula toward the Pacific Ocean, I always think this is what they mean when they sing from sea to shining sea. Pebble Beach never does disappoint.
It has to be on everybody's wish list. I don't really care what level of your standard of play is. The best players in the world want to play here, and I have friends really that just took up the game, for example, like a year ago, and that's always where they want to go. Can I get a round at Pebble Beach?
Okay, not the intended plan there, as this ball's going to wind up a foot or two off the green. Are you kidding me?
That looked like it was in.
So a less than ideal start. The missed putt for par going to yield an opening bogey. Frank, interestingly, this hole number 2 plays as a par 4 for the U.S. Open. It is a par 5. It's absolutely gettable, and players must take advantage.
Certainly, Rich. Off that back tee, really you've got to grab a driver. I know there's bunkers left and right, but the decision is whether that tee shot finishes in the fairway, because if it does, you're going to have a crack at this par 5 and 2. If it doesn't, then you play the layup.
Down on the course, let's check in with Nota Begay III.
When you find yourself in the fairway on the second at Pebble, you have a great opportunity to take advantage of one of the easiest holes on the course.
Look, I know par 5s are long holes and most people struggle to reach, but that 3-wood did not even touch the putting surface. Had to be the wrong club. I know it's ambitious, but look where it is now.
Good chance to make up for that bogey at the first. Yeah, he didn't stay in black figures for long. It's a birdie 4 here at the second. Gets him back to level par. This is a pretty hole, the third. 397 yards, just a gentle dog leg to the left. And you do have the option. If you're longer, maybe you just take it up over those trees and cut the dog leg, leaving yourself very short shot in. Or you can play it out to the right, have a little bit more in, but still certainly with a good chance at birdie. Just what you want at this point in the round. You're trying to find a rhythm, hit fairways, hit the middle of the club face. That's what they did right there.
And that one barely makes the front of the green. Do you realize if you just miss hit the middle of the club by a quarter of an inch, you lose 10%. That's right, 10%.
That one just lacking a little bit of pace, but not bad at all from there. Disappointment there. He'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par. Wow, a day's worth of breathtaking shots, Frank, from the players and the Pacific Ocean. There it is, and this begins that beautiful 7-hole stretch along the ocean. Short, par 4, fourth hole.
And this is also where some of these decisions become quite critical. Do you try and drive this green 330 yards to the front? Or do you worry about that little pop bunker on that left side, which is about 250 yards to get over it? Because that's what narrows this fairway down. But it plays uphill.
So not a whole lot left to go here as he'll set up his second for this par 4. Okay, it's not stone dead, but that's not too bad. Just 6 feet left for the birdie. Oh, you hate to miss from that distance. Yeah, good concentration there. That's a distance where a putt could get away, but that, in for a par. We arrive now at the 189-yard par 3 called the New Fifth. Despite being redesigned by Jack Nicklaus late last century, safest play here is to the left center of the green.
That just came out blazing. As soon as it hit the green, it was never going to stop.
There's a birdie. He's now 1 under par. Well, now Pebble Beach begins to really open up with some of the most famous holes in the world. We'll begin with a 498-yard par 5 6th. Pacific Ocean on the right and a row of bunkers on the left. Treacherous is a word that comes to mind. That one gonna split the middle. Maybe get a little rollout as well. That is a good, solid tee shot. Well within range from here. A second now to the par 5. That's it. 2 solid shots right there, Frank.
Certainly taking advantage of this par 5. Comfortably on for 2.
Yeah, maybe a little defensive there, as that'll come up short. Okay, nothing to it. Nice work there. It's a birdie, and it moves into 2 under on the round. Tee at number 7, and Frank, this is the shortest hole in championship golf. It is also one of the most beautiful holes in championship golf.
Yeah, it certainly is, and people assume that short is easy, but just look how small that target is.
A very sensible play there, right in the middle of the green. Birdie putt coming up, and we go to Iona Stephen.
Yeah, it's an easy one to underread. There's going to be a lot of break in this from left to right as it gets nearer the hole.
Just played a little too much break there and hung it out to the left. That's so nearly a birdie, but par is all he'll have to show for it. We head now to the 416-yard eighth hole, one of the premier par fours in golf. Fairway wood or long iron off the tee, giving way to a long approach over the cliffs and a yawning chasm below. Beautiful tempo to that swing, and this is going to wind up squarely in the fairway. From the fairway, let's go to Noda.
Beautiful tee shot, great position looking at this green, and there are no easy options here. You got bunkers up the left, bunkers on the right. You have balls that are going to find their way into the penalty area. Requires precision execution.
Well, had a good look at the green, but couldn't cash it in. In the rough now, wondering what might have been. And that will roll to a stop. So from behind the green, this comes to rest all the way in the front.
At times it pays to be straight, right? But accuracy is less important than distance control. And he's about to get a lesson right here.
Boy, that's going to come up. I'm going to say that's a good 10 feet short. Okay, so not what he was looking to do once he got on the green. That's the Cobra, a 3-putt 6 here at the par 4. We finished the front side with what is often considered the most difficult hole at Pebble Beach, 483-yard par 4 ninth. Ocean all down the right and bunkers and deep rough on the left. No room for error here. Yeah, that's a beautiful tee shot. Now watch this go. Oh, it's going to trundle right on down the slope. From the fairway, we check in with Noda.
Well, when you find your ball in the fairway at the ninth, you hit a great tee shot, one of the most difficult fairways to hit on the entire golf course, but now it opens up the opportunity to hit a great second.
And that will be quite a challenge from there to get away with his par.
If he can make this, I'd just take it and run to the next hole.
Ooh, good speed there. That'll leave just a couple of feet. So, a tap in here, it's a bogey at the 9. And that's going to be a 1-over score of 36 on this outward 9. Hope you're enjoying this little stroll along Carmel Bay, and the golf is as good as the view. This 10th hole is 444 yards. I would tell you that it is the widest fairway at Pebble Beach. It is, but it doesn't feel that way because of the way it slopes left to right. And if you're not careful, this one can get away from you and head toward that Pacific. Now Noda, his second from the fairway.
It's about 137 yards to the front, 157 to the hole, coming off a bogey on the previous hole. Got to get it back here.
Good shot again there. Well thought out. Landing the ball short, letting the ball run onto the green. And inside, I'd call that a birdie putt. So that's birdie range.
Nope. Disappointment there. He'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par.
Well, this is where Pebble Beach changes significantly. We're going away from the Pacific Ocean now, up the hill toward the forest. Frank?
What do you think of the 11th hole?
Well, it's tricky, Rich. Number one, because it's blind, as you've detailed, but uphill and it's sea level, so that tee shot's not going to go that far. There is a run out down that left side, just inside the tree line there. That's about 308 yards, but you're not going to go that far. So really, you have to respect this hole. Just hit a fairway fine.
Couldn't ask for anything better. Split the fairway, and now I'll have a go at this second shot. That's got to be disappointing. Good lie in the fairway, and the approach winds up in the bunker. That is a good-looking pass out of the bunker right there. Got that to stop in a good place, leaving just a few feet for par. That's so nearly a birdie, but par is all he'll have to show for it. And now we arrive at the 202-yard par 3 12th. Best to work the ball right to left, landing as softly as possible on one of the firmest greens at Pebble Beach. And I think that may have surprised him. That carried much further than he anticipated. Now a delicate little chip here for his second. Disappointment there. That'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par. The 13th here at Pebble Beach is sort of a forgotten hole. It's only 401 yards of par 4, but I promise you'll remember it if you make a birdie here, and you'll have a good chance if you put it in the correct position off the tee. And this, a tee shot that fits the eye, and that'll be just fine. From the fairway nota, this is second.
Looking at 153 to the hole, standing on the wrong side of par right now, looking to get back to even.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Yep, good work not to let that get away, and that's in for a par.
Frank, the 14th hole, par 5, it is one of the most difficult par 5s in championship golf, isn't it? It certainly is, Rich. Not just because of the length of the hole, 570-plus yards, but reachable only really by the longest hitters in the right conditions. But it's the third shot. I've got to rank the third shot as probably the hardest short wedge shot, right up there with the 15th hole at Augusta.
Well, just a good solid shot right there with that 3-wood, Frank.
That's an aggressive layup, really, trying to force that 3-wood down and get it as close as possible to the green. That's two good shots if you can't reach the par 5.
Gonna have to give this a pretty good thump. Yeah, look how quick that was. Very difficult to get that to stop, even out of the sand. And that race is right on by. Slow down. Okay, that'll run about 4 feet by. Okay, good putt to make sure things don't get worse, but sixes on par fives, they really sting. You may have heard of the 17-mile drive near Pebble Beach. It's scenic. It is one you absolutely want to put on your bucket list, but you don't want to get there by chasing a tee shot onto the road. That's what can happen if you blow it way right here at 15, if you do keep it in play. At 393 yards, this 15th hole is absolutely one on which you can make a birdie. See what he can do with this one, his second at the 15th. Just want to avoid the flyer lie coming out of that rough. That is always so disappointing from that kind of a spot when you come up short.
Yeah, you're licking your chops over that one. A shot you think you could hit directly at the flag. Now, test for the short game.
Just 5 feet left. Okay, can't take putts that length for granted, but that's in for a par. Par 4, 16th hole. Frank, what's the right play off the tee?
You don't need driver here for a start, Rich. It's a long iron or even a fairway wood. Now, you see that big gaping bunker in the middle of the fairway? That's not really in play. 205 yards gets over that. But that's the line. If you look closely up the right there, those two bunkers, you just see a little sliver of the bunker, the left of the two on the right. That's sort of a no-no. So anything slightly left of that runs out about sort of 280 yards, that is prime.
Second shot now from just a foot or two off the fairway.
And that one barely makes the front of the green. Do you realize if you just miss hit the middle of the club by a quarter of an inch, you lose 10%? That's right, 10%.
Oh, this one is tracking. It's not a good line. Look out. This one could be really good. Oh, that nearly went in. That's a touch of class right there. Very good effort. That's so nearly a birdie, but par is all he'll have to show for it. If you stop for just a moment, it can really hit you where you are and what's happened here. This 17th hole at Pebble Beach, the par 3. Jack with a 1-iron that hit the flagstick in 1972 on his way to winning the U.S. Open Championship. And then a decade later, Tom Watson from just long of the green, chipping in for a birdie to beat Jack Nicklaus. Yeah, history made here at the 17th hole. A look here for birdie at 17.
Ball coming downhill from the top side of the hole, but shouldn't be that much break in it.
That's a good putt right there. That's a birdie, and it is back to 1 over now for the round. Well, here we are now at arguably the greatest finishing hole in golf. 536-yard par 5. Pacific Ocean, massive fairway bunker stretching more than 100 yards on the left, and cypress trees. Just a few of the things you need to contend with. And that will be more than adequate. It's safely into the fairway. Really hit that second shot on the button to this par 5, but Frank couldn't get it to stop.
Yeah, too good, too long, sadly.
Putter's let him down a few times, but this for birdie. Okay, birdie at the last. It is a birdie finish. And that will close out an even par round of 72. Frank, they gave us a great show today.
No, they...
Now, from Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia, EA Sports so proudly presents this step on the road to the Masters. Rich Lerner here at the 18th Tower alongside Frank Novelo, 15 times a winner around the world. Frank, normally we would see you over at that special spot, Amen Quarter, 12T, but you're with me today. Take me back to your playing days. What ran through your mind as you stood over that opening tee shot?
I couldn't feel my hands, really. I was so nervous to get to play there for the first time, and that was just a practice round. I think anybody that goes there for just a round of golf, you get the same feeling. You're like, am I really allowed to play? And then the course just comes to you. It really does. It flows beautifully. There's a lot more undulations than you even give it credit for, but, you know, hey, you're going to reference Amen Corner, so will I. Amen Corner technically is the second shot into 11, 12, and the tee shot at 13, not the 3 holes. Lovely pitch shot. Just nipped that ball off the turf. Just flew through the air beautifully. Sat down fairly quick as well. Good shot.
Cleans that up in the hole. Now to the second 575-yard par 5 down the hill here at Augusta National. One of 2 5s on this first 9. This is a place where you can make something happen and jumpstart your round. Yeah, this is a good drive. Watch it trundle down the hill a bit. Well done off the tee here at hole number 2. I'm not sure he got every bit of that 3-wood trying to get home to this par 5 and 2, but still in the ball game for a birdie. 10-foot putt left. And that's what you have to do on a course like this. Take advantage of the par 5s. And that's in for birdie here at the second. Now to the short par 4 third, only 350 yards. I think one of the more underrated holes on this golf course. We know those 5 pars plus the 12th on that second 9 get so much attention, and rightly so. But this is a wonderful hole, strategic. You need some touch here. No issues here. That is into the fairway. The big drive got him here. Now a short one for his second.
Nobody's happy after that shot. Oh, I mean, that was one up from disastrous, really.
Birdie attempt at the third. Nota Begay is down there.
And this is a nice, smooth right to lefter. This is the go zone.
Nope, that didn't quite turn as much as he'd hoped.
Yeah, just didn't play enough break there, and it comes up short.
Oh, no, just a lack of concentration there, and it'll cost him. All right, it's a bogey here at the third, and that will drop him back down to level par. Now to the fourth, an excellent par 3. This requires a solid, pure strike. You can't fake it on this hole, and you're happy to walk away with 3. Yeah, this is a tee shot that's perplexed many a golfer over the years. That's going to wind up being too long and off the back of this fourth green. This from about 10 feet. Still even par for the day. We move now to hole number 5, Magnolia, a par 4 at a stout 495 yards. Avoiding the 2 deep bunkers left of the fairway is a must, but a sloped green full of little hollows makes getting an approach to birdie range no small feat. That is going to come to rest squarely in the center of the fairway. From the fairway, let's go to Nota.
Finding the fairway here at the 5th does not guarantee that you're going to hit the green. A series of undulations and bumps really make it tough to get it close.
And this gonna wind up in the second cut. I'd call that so-so. I think you'd hope to get that a little closer. So he will finish that off. It's a bogey 5 here at number 5. Another good par 3 here on this first nine. It's the 180-yard par 3 6th. Elevated tee, two-tiered green. Chance to make it 2, but you need to be precise on the tee. And that one not on the green, but not in a terrible spot either. Sitting up in the short grass. This going to have to require a delicate touch. It's his second. Oh, missed the green at the par 3. No problem. That is in from off the putting surface for an unlikely 2. On to hole number 7 now, a par 4 at 450 yards. It's one of the narrower holes on the course, so precision is more important than power off the tee. The second shot is no bargain either, with a total of 5 bunkers completely surrounding a fairly small green. Yeah, all about hitting the fairway here, and that is right where you want to be. From the fairway, we check in with Noda.
Well positioned in the fairway, but there is no guarantees to hit the green. It is protected by a series of bunkers all around it, and precision is a requirement.
That's a disappointment right there, Frank.
Yeah, green light special, really. Come up considerably short.
No problem with that one. We move now to the 8th here at Augusta. This is an uphill 570-yard par 5. Avoid the fairway bunker off the tee, and reaching into is definitely a possibility.
The drive was fine, but just not long enough. So this par 5 out of his reach.
So in the fairway, but a pretty good number to carry here for a second to the par 5. Has to be thrilled with that second shot here to the par 5, Frank. Got everything out of that.
Yeah, did well just to advance the ball so far down the fairway. And now a fairly straightforward third shot.
And that a little beyond the hole, but a good shot. Birdie putt now moving to his right. Nah, that's going to slide by to the left. Good work to get into that position, but couldn't finish it off. Disappointment there. That'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par. Par 4 ninth is intriguing here at Augusta National. This is where you can see just how hilly the golf course is. It may not show up on television that way, but you can certainly feel it as you make your way up to this ninth green. This is going to be a beautiful drive down the hill into the big clearing, and it'll set up a good look at this ninth green. Second shot coming up. Let's bring in Iona Stephen.
Yes, it's 126 yards left to the flag and the pin on the back portion in the left-hand side of this green.
Not sure what happened there. Wrong club selection, poor execution. Regardless, a lot of meat still on that bone.
The strike was fine on the pitch shot. Ball first, then turf. Just wasn't really hit hard enough.
Well done right there. A good save for par at the ninth. And that will mean it's an even par score of 36 for this first nine at Augusta National. Second nine begins with a downhill 495-yard par 4 featuring a 60-yard long center bunker short of the green. The first hole until 1935, number 10 traditionally plays harder than any other hole here at Augusta National. Oh, that is perfectly placed. Watch this one go. Catches the slope of this 10th fairway, and it's going to be a beautiful tee shot to begin this second nine. Well-deserved birdie there, and it puts him into red figures as well, moving to 1 under par. On now to the second hardest hole in Masters history, the 520-yard par 4 11th. It's been noted that the great Bobby Jones always wanted there to be a wide gap between a good tee shot and a bad one. Thus, in keeping with that spirit, this hole was lengthened 15 yards back in 2022. Yeah, that's a nice swing, and the result is going to be a tee shot that is set up just fine. Amen Corner officially begins now, his second at hole number 11. And this ball going to come to rest in the second cut. But Paul is all he'll have to show for it. Well, nowhere on this golf course are the colors more vibrant than right here. Hole number 12, so easy on the eyes. So much harder is figuring the mysterious winds. The answers lie somewhere near the top of those towering pines that kiss the Georgia sky. Augusta's beguiling beauty. Golden Bell. Solid shot, and sometimes solid throughout the round, will win the day. A straightforward look here for birdie. Not a problem. That's in for birdie, and that score moves to 2 under par. On now to hole number 13, the iconic par 5 Azalea. This hole had some modifications made to it prior to the 2023 Masters that added 35 yards of length to stretch out a new total of 545 yards. So what had traditionally been the easiest hole on the course now has a new challenge to it, as players decide on their second shot whether to risk carrying that tributary to Rays Creek that frames the front of this green. Uh-oh. Ooh. Had half the equation on that shot, the distance. Not quite the accuracy. Missed it. Hair to the right.
Yeah, not quite a foul ball. Kept it in the ballpark, and, well, let's see how good you can chip.
Even the short ones can jump up and get you sometimes. These par 5s, this is where you can really make a move. Possibly an eagle, a birdie. You don't want to give shots away to the field, but that's what's happened. That's a bogey 6 at this par 5 13. This 14th hole at 440 yards is a good one. The real challenge here is the green. Two-time Masters champion Ben Crenshaw considered this to be one of the most difficult in golf. Oh, a definite slice here. That is well left. And that will not be the desired outcome. It's into the second cut. So this ball sitting up okay, but a long way back for his second.
If only that one had stopped, it would have been close, but still inside 10 feet, a little past the hole.
A dead-on look here for birdie. Eight-foot putt here. Well, you hate to give one back on a putt like that. We come now to the instantly recognizable hole number 15. It's called Firethorn. Traditionally, it has been the second easiest hole on the course, behind only number 13. But it was lengthened in 2022 with an extra 20 yards added on, making that potential carry over the pond with a second shot that much tougher. From the fairway, let's go to Noda.
Looking at the greatest second shot in golf, but don't let the beauty fool you. There is trouble everywhere.
Yeah, this is going to wind up being a good layup here at 15, and a smart one as well. From the fairway, Noda, this is third.
No bargains here with this approach shot. Gotta hit a very shallow green off a downhill lie.
Okay, on the putting surface, but work to do from there. Down to Iona, this for birdie.
Well, this is a big swinging putt from right to left from start to finish.
Yeah, that's a pretty good effort right there. We've seen others leave that putt much shorter than that. Disappointment there. We'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par. Par 3 16th here at Augusta National, and so many of the most indelible moments in the history of the sport happen right here at this short par 3. Now from the bunker.
Just a little splash out on this par 3.
Oh, the hands came through beautifully there. Good thump of the sand and a good chance to save par. Nearly a birdie, but par is all he'll have to show for it. Next up, the uphill par 4 17th, measuring 440 yards. The Eisenhower tree, you may remember, was removed in 2014 after being damaged in an ice storm, but challenges remain, especially the green, which seems to slope off in just about every direction. And that, a good-looking shot there, well placed in the fairway. That's not going to be enough. It's into the front right bunker here at 17. Looking to splash this softly onto the green. Yeah, look how quick that was. Very difficult to get that to stop, even out of the sand. And that race is right on by. Good cut right there. That has a little more break to it than most people realize, but he gets it to go for his par. That a beautiful tee shot through the chute here at 18. And that is going to be ideal. So now, up the hill, his second at 18. on your last putt of the round. That is cruel. Okay, so it's a disappointing bogey 5 here at 18. And this will be a 1 over par round of 73. Frank, we hear the word
There may be no tournament on the planet that so supremely tests a golfer's ability than this one. An under-par score? Not a given for the winner. U.S. Open rough? Oh yes, that is very much a thing. Narrow fairways, tight landing areas, rock-hard greens? Yes, yes, and yes. Mistakes must be kept to an absolute minimum. This is the most demanding test in golf. This is the United States Open.
EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's opening round coverage of the third of golf's four majors, the United States Open. We've got a full field ready to get rolling on this Thursday as we get a look at the early leaderboard. We've got a tie at the top at 3 under par. Meanwhile, our featured golfer ready to try and win that sterling silver U.S. Open trophy. And not the way you want to start your morning. That is going to be trouble right out of the starting gate. The lie is not a friendly one, but still a chance to get on in two with a good shot here. From the rough into the bunker, or the frying pan into the fire, sometimes mistakes, they just have a way of compounding themselves. That is a good-looking pass out of the bunker right there. Got that to stop in a good place, leaving just a few feet for par. Safely in. It's a par here at first, and he'll stay at level par. Moving on, we come to the par 4 second. The missed fairway at one didn't hurt him, but this, a much better tee shot as he is safely in the fairway. Walking the course today, let's bring in Nota Begay III.
He's got 146 yards to the front, 153 to the hole, hole cut right in the middle.
And a good approach shot, just not quite as close as what you'd like, but still solid.
A long one coming up here for birdie. Good putt there. It's in for par here at the second. And he'll stay at even par. On to the third. no issues there. Good tee shot in the short grass. A nice round number here, an even 100 yards coming up for his second. Gonna have to try and give this a good thump to fly it to the hole. Yeah, the green just didn't want to hold that one. That'll run off into the short grass. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Okay, no further damage. It's a bogey 5. And he'll drop back to 1 over par. Challenging hole coming up next. This is the par 4 fourth. That one's going to hit hard. Get a little bit of run out, and that is going to wind up just fine. That's well played, and now a good look at birdie. That one finished off. It is a bogey here at 4. And that's going to move him back to 2 over par. Ready to go at the 5th. All right, in the fairway. That's what he wanted to do. After the tee shot, puts himself in really good position here on the par 5. Just 5 feet left. that's good putt. It is a par here at the 5th, and he'll remain at 2 over par. Par 3 tee shot needs to be precise. That one is running so hot. Gotta be careful of this ball checking up too soon, as he'll try to get this just right. Yeah, that one really jumped, and it's going to lead to yet another bunker shot. This going to be equally as tough. Another try to get this up and out. That's good effort. Certainly not the worst shot.